Got it done. All right. Okay, there we go. We're going there. So let's see.
And Jesse, I'm busy eating. Do you mind if you switch our cameras off for the live stream?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Let me see what I'll do with that. I think put it in my
Yeah.
focus mode. There we go.
That's better. Thanks.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of what Jenny and I were talking about last night about how do we measure whether people are getting what they, what we
Good.
want them to get, and what is the definition of what we want them to get.
Yes, good.
And so yesterday we were also working with that little diagram, the wheel of life. And we divided, I think we had 6 F's, hey, Jenny? We had family, finances,
Fitness, finance, family, faith,
yes,
fun, fitness, fun, finances, faith, fulfillment, and fun.
yeah. And then the measurement would be how fulfilled do they feel in all of those as they go along, on a scale from 1 to 10, like where would they put themselves in terms of where they want to be?
Mm-hmm. Good. What I hear is like you are creating an awareness measurement, an awareness tool to show them, to have them intend to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then that can also be a pre and post, like we could do it prior to the potential onboarding call. And it's a screening. If they don't fill it out, then we cancel the call. And it can also be a post session to show a measurement in client results.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a dual purpose there.
Wonderful. Yes, I love it.
Thank you.
You know what I'm also thinking about now, Jenny? It's not so much where they get to on that scale, but it's a difference from where they started to where they end.
Yeah, the delta. Right.
Mm.
Shift happens.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Here's like one I'm playing with right now is Allison and you and I's project. It'd be around noticing change. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, it's like, I don't know yet. I haven't settled. Like, so this is just a design practice. It's like $10. You want to change $10. Yeah. First of all, that tells me whether or not they're going to do it or not. If they're not willing to pay $10, I'm not willing to work with them.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, that's simple. $10 to change. Yeah. $10 to learn how to change. Well, what are we going to change? I don't know. Something very simple though. Something that we're not attached to, something that isn't. And maybe it's changing the way that you get dressed in the morning. Maybe it's brushing your teeth with your left hand. Maybe it's changing to a cold shower, ending on a cold shower. I don't like something that's going to benefit them, something that their family would want. Like ours was like put the toilet seat down, for the daughter that uses the same restroom. It's like, that it's something simple that can benefit those around us. Here's my point with it is everyone wants to start with huge, massive changes and they can't even make the little ones.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we have to understand our patterns for change. We have to understand our patterns for creating. We have to understand our awareness to them and when we do something that's not charged, we're more likely to follow through on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we do start with one and then you take bigger and bigger bites. And at the end, it's like, well, if you brush your teeth for a week with the other hand, then you know what it is to change.
And so we go back to the thing about habits
Mm-hmm.
and also that wonderful concept, Jenny, that you had in WildFit, make it easy to win.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So following yours, it's like, oh, in that report card, if you will, in that tracker, what makes it easy for them to win?
Yeah.
What makes it easy? And it's like, so what I'm leaning to is in addictions, yeah, those sides of it. And what makes it easy to win? It's not tackling the addiction right away.
Mm-mm.
It's one
No.
simple step.
Yeah. So that it's like, oh, so no matter what, it's like, and so it's like there's one, and that's probably only a week, right? So there's a week of working on that. But at the end of the week, you look at it and be like, oh, look, I did change that. Or it's like at the end of the day, oh, I did. And it's like, then what you've just demonstrated is what you're teaching. They've experienced it. They've experienced your offer. You've promised to produce it, and you've got an outcome for them. It's manageable. It could be every day, right? It could be just something every day.
So if we do our sessions a week apart, we could have 7 small things that they can experiment with, and they can choose whether they want to pile them up and be doing 7 different things by the end of the week, or if they just want to do 3 or 4 or 1. And whatever they choose is their choice, but it's evidence that they are able to do that.
And then it comes down to where they're at, like where your market is, what is the easiest thing that they would say is their win.
The first thing that comes to me is awareness of breathing
Mm.
and how they breathe.
Mm. And how would you measure that at the end of the day?
That would be their self-report. Perhaps how many times a day they could take their attention to their breath.
Good.
How they felt when they increased the length, their awareness around the in and the out breath. It's just one example, right?
Mm-hmm. You do have to change it up, otherwise they get bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
So could you do 7 tiny little training videos on breath?
Oh, she's just.
There you
One for every
go.
day. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like a boom, boom, boom. And it's only just a couple of minutes that and here's the other thing is they're engaged with you every day,
Yeah.
but you're not
Yeah.
engaged with them every day. You do it once.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
It is. Absolutely.
So however long you think they need to be doing that to become aware of their breath. Then it's like after they become aware of their breath, then it's like, okay, what else? Like then with the breath, then it's like what comes after that? What builds on it? What creates the momentum that was needed? Maybe it's a good time to ask, where are they going? How long is the program?
We've got 12 sessions.
12.
Great. What's at the end of 12?
What's at the end of 12?
Yeah.
Oh, good point. Mastery or
That's exactly what Jenny was asking about. And for me, it's increased awareness of what you're doing when you're doing it. Confidence and realization that you've got choice. And fulfillment. Like just being more of you. Getting more to the power, to your power. There you go. It's the embodiment of your own power. So feeling empowered, for me, that's a very, very big one. What else, Gigi?
So who is feeling empowered?
Clients, and we would be too.
Okay, be more specific on the clients. Like, who are they? Why is it? Is it women?
Yeah, between the ages of
Professional women, 40 to 60.
or 45 to 65, we said, hey, Gigi.
Well, we were
Yeah.
saying 40s and 60s, just to.
Yeah, that age group.
Okay. And so what would they be doing at the end of that? What would an empowered woman, how would they know they're an empowered woman?
They'd have more clarity about the direction that they want to take for their life.
Okay, soul's goals.
Yes, thank you for bringing that back.
Okay, what else? End result at the end of 12 weeks, we have soul's goals. Yeah, we have clarity.
Yes.
We have replacing the inner critic with the genius processing system, the GPS.
GPS, awesome.
Mhm.
So they'll have a working GPS.
And they'll have gone from surviving to thriving.
Mhm.
From crappy to happy.
There you go, crappy to happy, crappy to happy. Do you see how you're just building your promises right now?
Mhm.
There you go. So there's a 3. I don't know. You mean you can build an inventory of them, and then what you do is you market different ones to them. But yeah, that's wonderful. So soul's goals, working GPS, and crappy to happy.
It's great.
Great. So that's 12. That's the end of 12. So to get to that point, what do they need to know at week 11?
Oh, God. They need to know about focus. They need to know about awareness. They need to know about choice. And they need to understand charge.
Wonderful.
And structure.
Mhm.
Oh, God, yes. Thank you, Jenny. Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Each one of those sound like each one of those are probably a week. Actually, in all reality, let's put it in
At
there.
least.
Let's put it in there as like that's the foundation. So that is what we'll start with as the foundation. Great.
Jesse, I can't write fast enough. Can I ask you a big favor?
That's why it's recorded.
Yes, but then I've got to go and listen to the recording.
Okay.
Can we do the transcript?
Yeah. Okay, how do I do that? Is it doing it?
No, Jenny, you did it earlier today. It's the closed capturing.
Cool.
Gigi, where did you find that?
At the end of, next to the record button, closed captioning enabled, but I think any participant can if it's allowed.
No, I don't have that button.
Then the host does.
Yeah. Do you see it, Jess?
I don't see it for us.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the.
Okay, don't worry then. I'll just go back and
I'm writing notes with it too. So
thank you.
you can do that. So all right. So week 12, they're feeling empowered, right? So let's keep it week 12, they're feeling empowered. They've got clarity, souls, goals, working GPS, crappy to happy.
Yeah.
Out of those three, that feeling empowered, and they'll get there with the souls, goals, working GPS, crappy to happy. Is there an order in which those would be taught? Meaning, which one is
I think-
easiest for them to grasp out of those awarenesses?
Souls goals.
You know, I think that the wheel helps them to define their values that then leads to what do they really want.
Okay. Okay, we've got a wheel. Okay, we've got a wheel. Now, if I was focusing on clarity, working the GPS, working GPS system, and crappy to happy, if you think about those three promises that have, like, they come together when you bring them, synthesize them together, they're empowered. They're empowered. Which one is the easiest for them to grasp onto? Which is the easiest to lead with?
For me, I think when you say to people, what is your soul's goal? Something rolls out of them.
Good. Gigi?
Sorry, I had background noise. Yeah. Soul's goal is easy to connect with, but not easy to feel like they've achieved.
No, but you're looking for something to start with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good way to look at it is like, oh, what are you going to start with? It's changeable. What could you start with?
Structure. Where do
Gotcha.
you want to be? Where are you now? Because
Gotcha.
that's the starting point.
Okay, wonderful. So structure's first. Beautiful. What comes after structure?
So where's
Awareness.
Okay, good.
Awareness.
Good.
Great
What
minds
after
think
what
alike.
after that?
Feeling. We
No.
haven't talked about feeling.
That's fine.
Good.
Feeling.
Very good, Gigi.
3. Okay, what else? So
Where's the inner critic? Inner
Huh?
critic.
Inner critic. Okay.
That comes with feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's good though.
No, it's separate though.
Okay.
Inner critic. Okay. I've got that as 4. How about 5?
God, we did 12 sessions and we've forgotten them. Hey, Gigi.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can
How
go
about
back and tie them
something
in.
around co-creators? You know, like not everything is in your seemingly. Where's the power? Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
I'm sorry, the battery, the plus and minus, and feeling drained.
Okay. Would you say that's kind of the charge?
Yeah,
Okay.
but also we were targeting burnt out professional women initially.
Mhm. Good.
So
Yep.
it's where's your battery? You know,
You
like
bet.
being aware of your energy level, not so
Yep.
much the charge.
Mhm.
but those two things are very well connected, right?
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
And then what did I say just now? Choice. That comes afterwards. So that's 8.
Okay.
Patterns.
Ah, very good. So 9 is patterns. Where's collaboration?
You just added it.
Okay. 10. And then we've got 11 as awareness. And also for me, I feel like in many ways 11 is our final session and 12 is when they come back and celebrate what they've experienced that week.
Yes. So 11 is like kind of like the unplugging in a way, but not completely.
Good.
12 is the celebration. And then what's level 2?
Good.
Well, let's get through level 1 first. Thanks.
Nope. We need to have that at least intention.
Yes, we do, for sure.
All right. So one way to hear that. So just aware, have you ever worked it backwards? Backwards.
No.
Okay.
So that was a good exercise in doing that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good way. And what do they
Yes.
need to know to have that? What do they need to know to have that? What do they need to know to have that? And then that begins. It's just a different way to put them together. You know, you can always work it forward and then work it backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was really useful. I really like this.
Really good. Like beginning with the end in mind.
Yep. Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So good. Wonderful.
Very
Clarity,
nice.
working GPS, and crappy to happy. Love it.
And we're at 30 minutes. That's good.
Yeah. So great. Level 2. Are you in?
Helping others.
The giggles
to
is
get
good.
that.
The giggle is good. I'll take that as a win.
Yeah, but that's also a nervous giggle.
Well, I know. That's as you're working empowered here, as you're working empowered.
That giggle's the actual wiggle when it comes to Allison, right? They go together.
Okay, so level 2 is compassion, collaboration. Or maybe collaboration first. I don't know.
How about, I don't know the right word, but like spreading the word,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
expanding the tribe. No, collaboration is still within the group. I'm thinking expanding, like the ripples going out.
It's hard in other words, building new community.
Mm-hmm. Like affiliates or something.
How would the market know they were at the end of it?
Well, when you're creating, you're never at the end.
So they're a powerful creator then.
Mm.
Yeah.
There you go. End of level 2 is a powerful creator.
Cool.
Being a powerful creator.
And so to be a powerful creator, what do you got to have? What do you got to know? What do you got to be doing? What makes it so?
Yeah, that's a nice one. What makes it so? Okay, so for me, I'll go, it's awareness of your own patterns. So self-knowledge.
Vision.
Yes. Love that, Jenny.
Could thinking.
Yeah, which is the same as vision, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just another way to say it.
Yeah, but it's a really good way of saying it. I like it very much. Willingness to go into the unknown. Or to expand into the unknown. taking imperfect action.
letting go of the outcome.
Yeah. Oh God. No.
That sounded like a big,
Trust.
heavy one.
Yeah, it was a big heavy one. Sorry. Took me back to something.
Trust, like
Yes.
trusting.
What was your big, heavy one that you don't want to talk about?
Yeah, no, well, you don't need to take up time with it now.
No, I don't. I would like. I want to capture it.
Yeah.
Well, it's those very big life decisions, like moving, immigrate, especially in terms of immigrating, but it could be moving anywhere. Marriage, healthcare,
Life or death.
career care, you know, choosing your career.
Life or death choices.
Yeah,
The heavy ones.
yeah.
Wonderful. Great. There's 8 right there. There's 8, being a powerful creator, expanding connections, expanding compassion, self-awareness, vision, could thinking, expand the unknown, imperfect action, letting go of the outcome or expectations, heavy life decisions, and trust. Hi, Mona.
Mona! Yay!
Hey, Mona.
Oh, so nice to see you.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, Allison.
How are
Hi,
you?
Jesse. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
How are y'all?
We're having fun, but we're so glad that you're joining us to have more fun.
I've been
Yeah,
listening
we
to the
needed a Mona.
content. It's awesome.
Wonderful to hear your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent to hear y'all's voices.
So we're talking about being a powerful creator and what it takes to be one.
Takes a lot of strength.
And what goes into that strength, do you think?
I think what goes into that strength is being in a extremely powerful position to be in control of your emotions.
So emotional strength.
Yeah. Emotional strength, especially when you have to let that baby cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I noticed is that, and I'm not the only one that's noticing this, it takes about 2 years to make a solid shift. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. You still are in observance of not only your patterns, but other people's patterns as well. And what's funny about that is a lot of times those patterns are predictable, especially when you observe them in somebody else. And notice too what's happening with you. You're like, oh, did somebody in my life do that to me? Is that why I'm attracting that? That kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yes, enjoying the journey.
appreciating the journey.
I love all the wisdom that y'all have been sharing.
What's he been sharing? I haven't seen or listened.
The wisdom that you've been sharing this morning about what it takes to be a powerful creator takes a lot of strength.
Yeah. It's so interesting how most of our strength really does at least get ignited by our emotions, right?
Well,
Our
isn't
emotions.
that what we're seeking? Every creation or every intention is the seeking of an emotion, a feeling.
Yeah. When I talk about emotional strength, I'm talking about the kind of emotional strength it takes to maintain being in that place and your end result emotionally, and knowing that when something else shows up that's going to trigger it, that you have to stay in that end result emotion or it brings you backwards.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that takes a lot of strength when your body is not chemically set up to do that.
Yes, it does.
Mhm.
And focus, hey Mona.
Yeah, lots of it.
So what advice would you give someone?
The advice I would give someone is to find a meditation to help them stay in that end result, stay with their lenses, and always be able to take a look at where you've been and how far you've come from where you've been. Those are your wins, and that's the encouragement. And if you
What
look
would you
at 2
say?
years ago, if you look at 2 years ago where you were at and where you're at today, there's a huge difference in how you would respond to something and how you would choose to create something way different than what it was 2 years ago.
Yes. So Mona, what would you say if someone said they don't like the idea of meditation?
I would probably tell them that they may not have run into the right meditation, not that it's wrong, but there's different things for different people. Maybe they need a different tool.
Mm. Mm.
Because there's so much out there in the way of meditation.
There is, and you can also get it by just being in your passion space where you lose the awareness of time and space, right? So you could be painting, you could be playing music.
Yeah, and all those I think are meditative practices.
Yeah.
So
once you step
point,
into those and you start sinking yourself into focusing on like painting or listening to music or that makes you want to be what you want to be.
So if the word is a trigger, there may be a different way of phrasing it, is what I was getting at.
Okay. Is that a trigger for you?
No, it's been for others that I've encountered.
It used to be for me too, because of the way religion talks about meditation.
Mm.
And it might be where that's from. Because when you're talking to somebody who talks about religion, they say, oh, people in the eastern side of the world don't meditate right. You have to meditate this way. When somebody starts talking about meditation, they don't understand it, or they're looking at it from that aspect and don't see different variations of how people meditate. That can be triggering, because in that realm, meditation is, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. It's that polarity again. But everybody's different. So meditation is going to be different for everybody. It could be a walk for one person. It could be listening to good music for somebody else, or painting for somebody else.
So Mona, would you say for yourself that having a community is as important as those two things that you've mentioned?
Yes,
Mm.
it is important.
And community of support, right?
Yeah. And not just a community of support, but a community of like-minded people in that support. And the funny part is people call those communities cults. And I think that's funny, the use of that word.
Well, it's only when it's somebody else's is it a cult, not mine.
Yeah. I hear you, Jesse.
Whatever I'm a part of is not a cult. It's somebody else's cult. Words have charges.
Yeah.
Words have charges, and awareness of those charges is not right or wrong, good or bad. It's just, oh, look, that's a charge I have to it.
Yeah.
Meditation, that word triggers it. And so like we use those words to allow people to see it and be like, and to give them freedom away from whatever they're hitched to.
Yeah.
Because if they're resisting it, they're not going to do it.
No.
And that's what the charges tell us, is whether they're going to do it or not. What they will do, what they won't do, what the limitations is, what they can't see, what they can see, what they're limited to see.
So here's the thing for me, what's come to me now just to speak to, because it's been with me for decades, but I know that I can work with people way more effectively when I can appeal to their understanding that there's something either bigger or different or whatever the word might be, but that there's something out there in life that is bigger than just their own life or just the life of the body. That's more accurate for me. And they don't have to have clarity about what that is. They just have to be able to say, yeah, I could see that. That's all I need from them. People that don't have that, if they still want to work with me, of course I would. But I found out very quickly that those are the patients that ended up on a landing pad where they could launch from.
And why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's got to do with expansion. I don't know how you expand very much if you can't go beyond your own five senses. And I emphasize five, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we've got a sixth. It's really developed. unless you're working with somebody who has had to compensate for one of them.
What would you call the sixth one?
What would I call our sixth sense? Extrasensory perception? Intuition.
Mhm.
I think intuition is our sixth sense.
Hmm.
Thanks, Gigi. Very good one. So for me, that would be a like-minded enough member of my community.
Good. What else would you want in your community?
People that are curious about life
Okay.
and about what could be. And that like to create. That appreciate beauty, compassion, collaboration. And that enjoy contributing.
So what does Soul's Goals give someone?
I think it gives them that. Soul's Goal is about self-expression, expression of your real inner self.
Genuine fulfillment.
Authenticity.
Great. How about a working GPS system?
Yeah. I think I might want to. Yeah. Give that
Uh,
one.
Give me GPS again.
It's
Um,
your genius processing system.
Yeah. Or positioning.
Okay.
Ooh, I like it. Functioning. What does that give you?
It gives you confidence.
Uh-huh.
Sovereignty.
Yes. And
Okay.
it's and it's being in your intuition, right?
Mm-hmm. So in all reality, that's like the end of it, and that's your step into the next level.
Mhm.
So really, what I listen is that's your creator, and so crappy to happy then. Crappy to happy is the outcome, the experience, the expectation, the journey, the process. I don't know. You tell me what's crappy to happy.
You say
It's all- Well, crappy is when you're listening to that inner critic or the limiting, you can't, you're not good enough, all those sabotaging
Hmm.
voices. And the happy is when you go, yeah, I hear you, but we're going to do this and we're having fun. Free, fun, and flow. Free, flow, and fun.
Awesome. Well, what did you get out of practicing it today?
All kinds of good stuff.
Good.
Go ahead, Mona. You were unmuting. Sorry.
You're fine. I got a lot of affirmation about creation, and I got to hear about other people's perspectives on different things that would trigger them. So I've learned a lot today. And what I'm taking away from it is there's always going to be words that are going to trigger somebody. But my takeaway is trying to figure out what that word is and finding a way to help somebody choose a different word that's not so triggering that could mean the same thing.
exactly.
That's the power when it's their word.
Yeah, because I don't need to give them a word, but helping them find their own word.
So going back to meditation, if you said, what are some ways that you found to help you kind of get in the zone or in the flow or whatever, forget yourself and be so engrossed in something. What are you doing when that happens? Oh, I'm painting, or oh, I'm swimming, or I'm out in nature.
What I try to do in answer to that is trying to be so immersively present.
Exactly.
Immersively present, not just present, because you can show up and be present, but when you're immersively present, that's when you know you're so focused that everything else around you sort of disappears.
Yeah. Can I share an example of an experience like that, Mona?
Yes, please do. This is
So
Jess's meeting, but go ahead.
I had a soul reading done once by a very advanced Qigong guy. And it was at one of those expos, health expos. So you know how noisy those halls can be, right?
Yep.
And I sat down opposite him, and our knees were almost touching. They were like an inch away from each other. And within seconds, I couldn't hear a thing. There was no sound around me. And it was the most amazing experience. And I still thought to myself, let me see if I can hear the outside noise. And then another voice said, don't you dare, just stay here. It was incredible. I've never experienced anything like that with somebody else before. But that was so tangible. And that is true immersion.
Mona, where does that phrase come from? Is that yours?
Yeah.
I like it.
Immersive.
May I borrow it?
Honey, you can, yeah. You can even say you invented it. It's okay.
I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
Okay. Recently, I was I joined what I thought was going to be an opportunity to be a part of a collaborative with coaching.
Mhm.
And to find
Mhm.
out after being in Chris's program and comparing it to what I already know, I found that I was more advanced than what they were teaching in the program.
Mm.
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 Not only that, I also threatened the ego of the person that was running the program.
Mm. That's too bad. That's
That's all
really
right.
too bad.
That's not my stuff though. She will
Yeah.
run into that more than once.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
But it's such a missed opportunity for her. Hey, Mona. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
That's exactly what I think, because I noticed that when she was trying to explain something to somebody, she was talking to them a little bit like they were 8, not like they were grown-ups.
Mm.
And I tend to talk to people like they're grown-ups more often than not. And when I realize that they're not at that level, I try to find the level that they're at and meet them at their level.
Mhm.
I don't try to make assumptions that everybody should be talked to like an 8-year-old.
Mm.
Yeah. And I've heard that statement more than once about coaching.
Mm.
Talk to people like they're 8.
Not a good
No,
idea.
no, I've not heard it as a coach. I've heard it when you do your marketing to say it in a way that an 8-year-old could understand it, because sometimes we get into our own vernacular and we know what we're saying.
Yeah.
So I've never heard to be a coach that way, but to try to explain what you do that way.
I see.
I'm not saying that there are probably some coaches, and maybe that's what you ran into, that talk down to people, because I believe that whole structure, I'm the coach, you're the coachee, that hierarchy, when some people get into that ego, it's not equal.
The
And-
example that really shows up for me is we were what's called in a breakout room, and we were with our mentors. And the lady that's running this program filled in for my mentor this particular week. She was trying to explain something to somebody and they weren't getting it. And I spoke up and I explained it differently. And she's like, oh, yeah, I get that. Well, the person that was doing the leading, she got upset and made a comment about me not teaching.
oh, brother.
And
Well,
I
that's
actually,
definitely ego.
I did not feel that I was teaching somebody. I was helping somebody understand what she was trying to teach in a different way. Now, if that's teaching, then baby, I'm just guilty of sin and I'm okay with that.
Mm.
It just means that it comes very naturally to me. And with that in mind, maybe that should be a focus.
So the missed opportunity was, why not capture the wisdom of the group instead of thinking you have to have it all?
Yeah. Yeah. Very well put, Jenny.
Almost
Very
everybody in the group that she had in there, except for her mentors, and they're in a internship program. A lot of them didn't have a clue about really what she was talking about, even when she tried to explain it in her way. I guess I got spoiled is what happened, because Chris has all kinds of tools. And the lenses is a tool, and it's probably a tool that she could have utilized. And she was trying to by telling people to journal, but didn't explain why it was important to do that. Why is it important to write it down? What is the connection between your brain and your body to help bring what you want into focus?
Is it possible she doesn't even understand that herself?
I don't know. I think she does, but she doesn't bring it to the table.
Hmm.
Because she wasn't even talking about, like I said, the lenses stuff is, yeah.
When you talk about journaling, what came up for me also, Mona, was that it's all very well to journal, but you've got to journal with a purpose, right? And a focus.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the lenses process that Chris teaches you different areas of how to focus on those areas.
Yeah.
Like what's important today and what were your wins for the day? Where did you feel uncomfortable today? And once you start recognizing those things, and you can really sit in that, observe that, and go, I see why that showed up. That's familiar to me. Somebody in my life trained me to do that, or I've reacted this way because of. And the lenses that Chris teaches, I think, is a lot more about self-reflection and not just goals.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And it's really important to have both, right?
Yeah.
But it's also about the importance of the true choice in their terminology, right?
Yeah.
And the time that it takes for people to get to that, because not everybody knows what that is.
When she was teaching the program, she was teaching it that you have to have an image. Okay, you're right, you need an image, but sometimes people don't get an image until they get a feeling, and sometimes people don't get a feeling until they get an image. And so there's not a right way to do that. Because some
Until
people get in a
until
place
you
and-
declare there's a right way to do it. Right?
Yeah, yeah. But then when you declare there's a right way to do it, it might not be the right way for somebody else.
Exactly.
And that's the, what do you call that, Allison? The arrogance of conclusion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, Storm. It's so good that.
Were
And
you
to be-
looking for a replacement, Mona?
A replacement for what?
That group?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yes, and?
Yeah, yes, and yes, and I got to fit it in somewhere. Because I'm noticing that part of where I really flourish at is patterns, not necessarily family patterns, but patterns about people, not only yourself, but others.
Yeah. What do you love about them?
I love the knowledge of being able to recognize them for what they are. I love the fact that it's not a personal to you when somebody else has a pattern, it's personal to them.
Mm.
And when they're having a crap day, that's not your shit.
Well, technically speaking.
Yeah, I mean, really, it isn't. I got flipped off yesterday at work.
Unless it hits the fan and then it sprays on you, then it's
Yeah, there you go. Yesterday, I got flipped off at work for some place that was a business that wasn't even my business. And this lady made an assumption that it was my business and said, you're just a bad business owner. I'm a business owner too, and you suck. And it wasn't even my business. I was just delivering laundry to this place.
that's funny.
Yeah. And this lady came in, and I have a key to this building because this isn't open on Monday. And everybody in that town knows that, except this lady. And she got mad at me. And when I showed her the sign where it says it's closed on Monday, she flipped me off. She was just having a bad day.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it.
Clearly.
So I didn't even, I mean, to me, it was just funny because this lady didn't even know who she was talking to.
Yep.
Not that I'm a big bad person, but she didn't understand I wasn't the business owner and I couldn't do what she wanted me to do.
It is something when we can separate. Is it our resistance? Is it their resistance? Or is it both resistance?
So useful then.
Yeah, that is useful. Now, in the past, I may have taken that thing personally and tried to explain that I wasn't the owner. But yesterday, it was like it wasn't important to explain that.
Right.
Didn't want to spend your time. Didn't want to
No.
waste your heartbeats on doing that, Mona.
Mhm.
No, because she already made herself mad, and trying to talk to her wasn't going to help the situation.
Mm-mm.
Oh dear.
And that's why it's like when we tell people, oh, you should do this or you could respond this way, it's the intuition component. It's like, it wasn't appropriate.
Yeah.
No,
There is not a right way all the time to do something,
no,
Definitely not.
except for what you feel is right to do, or however, better yet, is however you respond is the right way to do it. It is the truth. And then from that, it's what we want to learn from it. It's the difference.
Yes. And what we'd like to imagine doing next.
Mm-hmm. And too many people are stuck in that same pattern as I'm just going to keep doing that and expect a different outcome.
Yeah. But that's when there's no awareness, right?
That's right. Immersively present is the one that can see that.
Exactly.
One that is not taking it personal, that can sit in the space and say, whose resistance is this?
Mm.
What do I need to know? What do I want? That's the importance of that awareness and that breath, a structure, a focus.
The other thing that this group didn't understand either was you couldn't want something just because you wanted it. If you wanted to do something just because you wanted it, it was an ego. You were in ego. And I'm like, do everything that you have to do has to lead to some sort of purpose? Because that was what the coaching class was teaching. It was teaching that there was a purpose to your higher self. Because I want to do a skydive. And I want to do a skydive because I've always wanted to do a skydive. And I think it would be an extremely enjoyable experience.
So the skydive idea is shot down because it doesn't align with a higher purpose?
Yeah.
Just because doesn't count?
No,
That's interesting.
that's what I thought. I'm like, that's sad. Because sometimes people just want to try something because they want to try it to see if it's something they would like to do. I'd like to learn how to fly. Maybe I could use that skill to do something else.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know someone that did it to have a better relationship with their husband.
Wow.
Spend more time with him. And
Well, I think-
he happened to be a flight instructor.
Well, that would be awesome.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh,
They could both take turns. They could both take turns flying, let one sleep, the other one fly.
that's right. So now they go have lunches at different spots. Yeah.
That gives me a whole new vision of falling for someone.
That's true.
Maybe that's what it's telling you, Mona. Go hang out at the airports.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I found a
Someone
place that I
someone
can
might
learn.
pick you off your feet and take you skydiving and teach you how to fly.
But the real question, Mona, is do you believe you can fly?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There
Well, then
you
you could write a song about it.
go.
I think we can all fly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I just won't fly in a parachute. That's all. I'm not going to drop out of the plane.
Some of us are more chicken about jumping out of airplanes than others,
Yay.
but we can all fly.
Yes, exactly.
It's sometimes for some people, it's that landing they worry about.
Exactly.
See, my grandfather flew, my dad flew airplanes. So it's kind of a family
Wow.
field thing. It's not just something that I chose
Yeah.
just because.
Huh.
And there's a rescue company out there that rescues dogs.
Oh,
Oh, neat.
that's
And-
right.
Every once in a while, they're looking for pilots.
Yeah.
There's also a company out there that's a repo company, and they repo high dollar things like boats and airplanes and stuff like that. And they make really good money doing that. And to me, that's something that is an adrenaline rush and would be fun
Right.
because you have the legal paperwork to do it. You're not just illegally taking something from somebody. So it's a skill set that can be, monetized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And enjoyed.
And enjoyed. Because to be honest, if you ever look at pictures that are taken from the aerial view, those are some of the most awesome pictures.
Exactly. They definitely are.
Is a different perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
All right, crew. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
Great
so
to be
much,
with you.
everybody.
Great
This
to
was
see you.
wonderful.
It was.
Have a good week, so the rest of the week.
Yes. Thank you. You all too.
Bye, everyone.
Till next
Bye.
time.
Till
Bye.
then.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.